We run to everything for healing. Google gut cleanses, ginger shots, supplements we can't pronounce, therapies we can't afford. But have you ever wondered what if the thing that could have started healing you was a dhikr you ignored after our Asr? Not some complicated ritual, just 3 short lines, takes less than a minute, and according to the Prophet Muhammad, sallallahu alaihi was alam, if you say it sincerely, nothing can harm you. No sickness, no black magic, no spiritual heaviness, not even physical illness, but the truth. Most of us don't even know what to say after Asr. We pray it half distracted. If we even pray it at all, then wonder why our body feels drained, our mind feels off, and our life feels stuck. But hidden inside this window between Asr and Maghrib is a divine moment, one that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam specifically taught us to use for protection and healing. This video isn't a motivational lecture, it's not spiritual entertainment, it's not a viral reminder clip with lofi, Qur'an, and butterflies. It's a wake-up call for people who are serious about changing. Starting from the place most of us ignore, our zikr, it's a wake-up call to start using what Allah already gave you, a simple, powerful dhikr that just might be the thing your soul's been needing all along. Let's begin. The dhikr that heals. After Asr, say this 3 times. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you said something after our Asr and felt like it reached the heavens? Not rushed, not distracted, not just words spilling off your tongue because someone told you it was Sunnah. I mean saying something and feeling like, Ya Allah, I actually meant that. There's a hadith in Abu Dawood. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, whoever says 3 times in the evening, Bismillahi ladhi la yudru ma ismi shaitan fil ardh wala fi sama wa huwa samia alayim, in the name of Allah, with whose name nothing in the earth or heavens can cause harm, and He is the all-hearing, the all-knowing. Nothing will harm them until the morning. You hear that? Nothing, not black magic, not sickness, not the invisible energy you can't explain, not the fear you carry around your chest like it's part of your identity. And yet most of us don't even say it once because we don't think something that short could change something that deep. But Allah's power doesn't come from how long the zikr is, it comes from how real your surrender is when you say it. People will pay thousands for ruqya sessions, energy cleansing, healing retreats, therapy, but the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam literally gave you the script. 3 lines after Asr every day. That's it. Let me tell you what Fazl Fikar Naqshbandi DB once mentioned in one of his majalis. If a person knew the spiritual weight of some of these adhkar, they would never leave them out, even if they were sick in bed. He wasn't exaggerating, because spiritual illness, that heavy, unexplained emotional exhaustion, is real, and just like physical pain, it needs treatment. But if you're always waiting for a dramatic solution, you'll miss the simple prescription right in front of you. This dhikr is not some magical chant, it's a statement of protection, a reminder that healing doesn't come from effort alone, it comes from seeking the one who allows healing to happen in the first place. You want to start healing, start here, don't just say it. Mean it after Asr today. Turn off your phone, close your eyes. Say it slowly. Bismillahi ladhi la yudru ma asmi shayun fi il ardh wala fi samai wa huwa sami'u ila. 3 times, then sit with it. Don't expect fireworks, expect presence. Because maybe healing doesn't begin with a miracle, maybe it begins with attention. Why after Asr? Let's be real. If we're being honest with ourselves, our Asr is probably the prayer we treat like a speed bump. We're either stuck in traffic, busy with work, lost in scrolling, or just trying to survive until Maghrib. But here's something most Muslims never hear. There's a reason the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam placed so much spiritual protection and power in the hours after Asr. According to scholars, This time between Asr and Maghrib is one of the most spiritually charged windows of the entire day. It's a time where du'as are accepted, a time where the angels shift their recording, and most importantly, it's the time the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam taught us specific adhkar that shield us from the unseen, black magic, hazard, jinn interference, emotional heaviness, anxiety, even physical illness. So when you say this dhikr after Asr, you're not just saying words. You're putting yourself inside a divine force field, a shield crafted by the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam himself for the Ummah, who he knew would struggle in times like these, where evil is subtle and distractions are loud. Now here's the wild part. The dhikr we just covered, that one du'a, isn't the only thing the scholars mention. They have also recommended additional dhikr and istighfar routines, specifically after Asr, for both healing and protection, and we'll get into that. But first, if you're someone who's been treating Asr like just another prayer, this is your reminder. It's not just one of the five, it's a window into unseen mercy. And if you've been missing it, today is the day you take it back. Istighfar. Let me ask you something personal. When was the last time you made istighfar, like your life depended on it? Not the rushed astaghfirullah between YouTube videos, istighfar. Not the automatic response when you say something wrong, istighfar. I'm talking about real, intentional istighfar, where every word feels like a quiet apology your soul needed to whisper. Most people don't realize this, but consistent, sincere istighfar is one of the most underrated forms of healing in Islam. You're not just seeking forgiveness for haram you did, you're seeking a softening of the heart. You're asking Allah to remove whatever blockage is sitting inside your chest, physical, emotional, financial or spiritual. Yes, even financial, because some people think their rizqi is just a matter of luck or hard work, but they forget that sin can close the doors of provision too, and istighfar, done with sincerity, has opened the floodgates of sustenance for people who once thought they were cursed with bad luck. Because here's the reality, some illnesses don't start in your body, they start in your soul, and when the soul is clogged with guilt, sin, resentment, or even years of unprocessed pain, the body starts showing symptoms too: headaches, fatigue, chronic tension, emotional numbness, or a kind of financial suffocation that no budgeting app can fix. And maybe the doctors can't explain it. Maybe the meds aren't working, maybe the job interviews keep falling through, but maybe, just maybe, your soul is quietly asking you to clean up what's been building up inside. So after Asr, say it slowly: Astaghfirullah, Astaghfirullah. Say it, not because you're trying to be perfect, say it because you're tired of pretending you're fine. You don't need to cry, you don't need a dramatic story, you just need to be honest. Start with 3, then 5, then 10, not loud, not performative, just real, because healing doesn't always start with medicine. Sometimes it starts with a quiet moment of honesty between you and the one who never needed a prescription to heal you. And the more real your istighfar becomes, the lighter your body starts to feel, because maybe what you've been carrying was never meant to be carried. It was meant to be released, through zikr, through forgiveness, through finally coming back. The dhikr that melts emotional pain. There are wounds that don't bleed, and pain that doesn't show up on MRI scans. It's that ache in your chest that follows you into sujood, the tightness in your throat when you're smiling at people who have no idea how heavy your soul feels. This kind of pain doesn't need an explanation. It just needs an outlet. And the Prophet Yunus, alayhi salam, knew that pain intimately, alone, trapped, hopeless, not in a toxic relationship, not in a breakup, but in the belly of a whale, deep in the ocean with no chance of escape. He didn't give a motivational speech. He didn't ask why. He didn't scream, or beg, or spiral into rage. He said, La ilaha illa anta subhanaka, inni kuntu minadh-dhalimin. There is no God but you, glory be to you. Indeed, I was of the wrongdoers. Just that. No complaints, no drama, just surrender. And the Prophet Muhammad, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, said, no Muslim ever makes dua with these words, except that Allah will answer him. So if your pain has been lingering, if you've tried everything and nothing helped, if your chest has been carrying sadness that won't leave, then start here. Say it after Asr 3 times, 10 times, however many times your heart needs. Say it not because it's a magic spell, but because Allah hears it. Because the Prophet, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, promised its power. Say it when you're in bed, staring at the ceiling. Say it when you're driving in silence. Say it when your chest is tight, and you don't even know what's wrong anymore. La ilaha illa anta subhanaka, inni kuntu minadh-dhalimin. Say it, because sometimes the thing that heals you isn't another person, it's you finally turning back to the one who never left. Salalat, the secret that removes worry. Here's what no one tells you about Salalat. It's not just a nice sunnah, or some polite praise you throw into your dua. Salalat is a weapon, a shield, a direct connection to the one man who would have cried for your forgiveness if he knew your name. Prophet Muhammad, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But most of us, we've reduced it to a formula, the phrase we rush at the end of dua just to tick the box. And then we wonder, why does our heart still feel heavy? Why do our du'as feel blocked? Why can't we move past this worry we keep dragging from prayer to prayer? The Prophet, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, said, whoever sends blessings upon me once, Allah will send blessings upon him tenfold, and will erase 10 sins from him and raise him 10 degrees, 10 blessings, 10 sins gone, 10 levels up. And we treat it like an afterthought. Let's be real, you're not just carrying a physical illness or emotional pain, you're carrying stress, uncertainty, worry about your future, fear about where your life is going. And that stuff isn't cured by a doctor, but it is softened by Salalat. Because when you send Salalat, you're not just remembering the Prophet, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, you're being remembered by Allah himself. And what better relief is there than the one who wrote your pain also choosing to write your healing? So don't rush this after Asr. Sit with it, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Say it once, then again and again, until your breath slows, until the worry gets a little quieter, until your soul remembers it was never carrying this pain alone. And if you've been struggling to feel connected during Dhikr, salawat is the bridge. It softens the tongue, it cleanses the heart, it makes the rest of your adhkar stick. The ones who send salawat consistently, they carry a secret calm, not because life gets easier, but because they remember who to send their worries to. So when the clock hits Asr, and the window between day and night begins to close, say salawat like it's your shield. Say it like it's your lifeline, because maybe it is. Let's not overcomplicate what just happened in this video. You didn't just scroll through another Islamic reminder, you sat through something your heart's been needing for a long time. A reminder that Allah doesn't leave his servants sick and hopeless, because that's what illness feels like. Right, hopeless. Whether it's your body breaking down, or your soul not feeling like yours anymore, you've been walking around with wounds that don't show up in test results. You've tried doctors, diagnoses, maybe even desperation, but you were never just a body. You're a soul too. And these advices, they weren't just given as extra sunnahs, they were given as prescriptions, and not just for sickness. These remembrances, they heal your fear of the future, they cool the fire of financial stress, they rebuild what depression tore down, they realign what anxiety twisted, because Allah knows your pain better than you do, and Allah gave you these words for a reason. Don't wait until life gets worse to take them seriously. because if you're still here, still breathing, that means healing is still possible, but you have to show up for it. Not by being perfect, not by becoming a spiritual superhero overnight, just by being consistent, real, quietly sincere. Say the adkar after Asr, before Maghrib, every day, until you start to feel like you again. No, it's not an entertainment video, and no, we're not here for views or emotional hype. We're here because we've all been carrying something we can't fix on our own, and maybe today was the day you finally stopped searching everywhere else. Now leave this dua, just one line for yourself or someone you love. Ya Allah, heal every pain, physical, emotional, or financial, that weighs heavy on me. Because maybe the healing you're seeking is waiting in someone else's Ameen. Or maybe someone out there needs your dua more than you know. So drop it below, not as a comment but as a sincere request to the one who always listens. And if this video moved something in you, hit like, subscribe, share it with someone who needs it. Not because we need the algorithm, but because someone out there doesn't know they were this close to a healing that was waiting after Asr. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh.